Hello, Sat Shri Akal, Salaam Alaikum. And this is episode 2 of Rant with Sidrants. And I'm calling my friend and a person who I've gotten to know through Instagram and is a very smart, genius, insightful person. Her name is Tejaswini and she's a medical student. She's just post graduated and now she's preparing for NEET. So I'm very excited to speak to her because I would love to get a female's perspective about life in medicine and the toxicity, the patriarchy, everything. So,
Okay.
Miss Tejaswini, please introduce yourself to the two, three people who are watching this.
Hi everyone, I'm Tejaswini Pethe. Recently, Dr. Tejaswini. I just graduated, finished my MBBS this past year, and now I'm doing like an observership here and there and preparing for NEET PG.
So, how is your mental health? Because this is like the one of the worst times to be in, I think, because you have to study at least 8 hours, 12 hours, or even if you don't have to study that much time, so mentally you have to study or you have to push yourself ki bhai abhi ye sab karna hai in the back of the mind, all of these things are there. And it's like you just don't know where your future is. कि तुम बस MBBS रह गए हो, तुमने पोस्ट ग्रेड नहीं करा है एंड सब पूछ रहे हैं बेटा कौन सी रैंक कितनी आएगी कौन सा कॉलेज आएगा इतना सब कुछ है भाई दिमाग खराब हो जाएगा इंसान का and उसके बाद you have to study also and then compete with like lakhs of people and
Literally, 2
then
lakh to 3 lakh people.
2 lakh to 3 lakh people and then अगर तुम्हारी रैंक भी नहीं आई और खराब so it is super annoying super frustrating and super sickening so how is your mental health.
I would say there are like two sides to this. On one hand, it's exactly what you said. It could be the worst time to be in mentally because of the uncertainty. There is no stability, there is no balance to your life, there is no guarantee of the future. I don't know where I will be next year. I have no, and like I'm 24. So everyone my age, they've been doing a job for like 2, 3 years at this point, or they finished their masters, and I'm still, just got done with my bachelor's, and this is like without any drop year. So it's like everyone your age is seeming to be a little more sorted than you, and you're just like, "Ha, BB exam ki tayari kar rahi hu." And yeah, like everyone keeps asking, "Oh, what field do you want to take? What college do you want to go to?" And you're like, "That's not how it works." And there's parental pressure, ki like, are you studying? And even when you're not studying, you're stressed about, ki, why am I not studying? So there is never like a peaceful moment because even if you're not studying, you're thinking about it, you're stressing about it. So it could be one of the worst times to be mentally, but also I have tried to take this the positive way in the sense that like I'm working on myself, working on my mental health, working on my physical health. During MBBS, I had no energy to pursue like fitness and eat right, and I'm doing all of that like conscious effort to like get my protein intake and like trying to run, trying to go to the gym, like all of these things. I think it will also build up my stamina and my endurance for residency. So I'm like focusing on that. Then the first few months, and I think everyone, like it really was great for me. The first few, if you are taking a prep year, I don't like to call it a drop year. I decided, क्यों बोलूं यार drop year? It's fine. It's not a drop year. I'm a doctor. So prep year. And yeah, because once I was telling someone ki I'm taking a drop year, and they're like, bro, you're a doctor. Don't call it that. Don't like put yourself down like that. So I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not using this term anymore. So we are not using the term drop year anymore. We are
Okay.
using
Prepare,
the
prepare.
term prep year. Yeah. So we can make that happen. But yeah, and I'm using this the first few months. I use the first few months at least to just relax. Because, I have the privilege to do that. I don't have to like have a job or like be in a rush and all of that to relax, to spend time with my family, to spend time with my friends, just like chill. So, and I think that was really needed after like 6 years of just like MBBS is so like go, 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 you know, constantly something is happening, this, that. I was someone who did like 100 extracurriculars, did my internship like extremely earnestly. So it was nice the first few months to just take that time to like be. But now I need to get the gear.
But you said a very good point that you're privileged enough to do all these things, which is definitely fair.
Yeah,
I'm also very privileged enough to do all this,
yeah.
take a drop here and all of that. But how do you
Hmm.
feel about the people who are not as privileged and they have to like manage everything and chalo manage everything to is fine, but the fact that even if they have to work with MBBS they don't get that much amount of money to work with. So it's kind of a very very like difficult situation for them in general because तुम्हें I think
Yeah.
कितने मिल रहे हैं 60,000 70,000 मिल रहे हैं after
That's North Indian prices. Like in Mumbai, it's like 30, 40
thirty
part-time.
thousand
If
post
you're
grad
doing
student को.
part-time, no, 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 no. MBBS student को.
हाँ पोस्ट सॉरी पोस्ट एमबीबीएस स्टूडेंट को.
Post MBBS, 30, 40. And that's like one of the good salaries, you know?
So my God. तो एक मिनट अगर मेरे को 30,000 रुपए हर महीने मिल रहे हैं बस उसमें मैं अगर एक लड़का समझूं अपने आप को तो मैं क्या करूंगा मेरा टैक्सी का खाने का घूमने का तो पैसे ही नहीं
If you're
बचेंगे पूरे.
living, घूमने के पैसे नहीं बचेंगे, but as someone who's like lived alone and budgeted, like obviously my parents were giving
रेंट
me
का भी
money,
I'm
but I
सॉरी.
had an idea. Yeah,
या
if you're living at home, in Mumbai, at least the biggest expense is rent.
या
But if you don't have rent to worry about, like food and travel में हो जाता है, but you won't have any like fun money, travel money left. You won't have any savings left. हो जाएगा for sure. But like you said, what about people who are not privileged? But I feel like I came from private college, so like most of my friends, like they all came from like good families. So we were all like, thank God, like very, very lucky enough to like, have all of these resources and privileges. But I have realized that to pursue medicine in India in today's day and age, you have to be either extremely brilliant or extremely wealthy. It's become a game of the rich because if you've seen the fees and not just the fees, it's hard to maintain the lifestyle, the books, iPads, Marrow, Cerebellum. Like it's become like you have to have money. It is unfortunate, but I hope the system changes. But the cutoffs are so high, so either you have to like sell your land and get private college key salaries, or the cutoffs are incredibly high for like government or all of those colleges. So it's just become like you have to be like extremely brilliant, extremely hardworking. You can't be like average middle class. Like that's really hard.
no
Like
that's a very brilliant point because this is what I have felt as well कि अगर मान लो तुम्हारे सब पढ़ पढ़ा के तुमने एक साल पढ़ा ठीक है चलो तुमने एक काम भी करा साथ में तो तुमने सब मेहनत मेहनत करी एंड तुम्हारा कुछ भी हो गया ऊपर नीचे मिस हो गया कुछ भी हो गया से हो गया 20,000 रैंक. अब 20,000 रैंक
Mhm.
में तुम्हें कोई अच्छा गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज नहीं मिलेगा तुम्हें या फिर बहुत ही पेरिफेरल गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज मिलेगा तो तुम्हारे पास बच्चा क्या ऑप्शन प्राइवेट कॉलेज का. सो पीपल बिटवीन 20,000 टू 2 lakhs 1 lakh वट एवर सब बाकी सब बचते हैं फॉर फॉर द फ्यू प्राइवेट कॉलेजेस दैट एग्जिस्ट एंड प्राइवेट कॉलेजेस आर फाइन ठीक है obviously we need it I mean I had a really good time in the private colleges but the fees is crazy man you have like 1 cr 2
Yeah.
cr per annum के हिसाब से you have a
Mm.
admission fees or like sorry you 1 cr 2 cr के हिसाब से you have a course fees and I just don't understand like do you get the return of investment. Do you get that money back in life and why do people go for it like I'm very amused by the whole thing. I would love to know from a lot of people because when you're a first generation student when you're a first generation doctor and you already see the amount of money that it requires to go for a private college undergrad postgrad why do you go for it. I'm very amused by that like why do you spend that much money at least 2 or 3 cr you spend and उसके बाद your starting salary is what 1 lakh तो 1 lakh को into 12 लाख हो गया 12 लाख पर एनम 12 लाख पर एनम into अगर हम 5 साल ही मान ले दैट 60 lakhs तो 60 lakhs so almost in 10 years you'll earn at least so 1 cr maximum I think you'll earn 1 cr in 10 years or like चलो 8 साल so it'll take you at least like 20 साल or something वो 15-20 साल to like
To
give back that money
recover
yeah recover that
recover that
investment
money.
only. So I'm very
Yeah.
amused that why do people do it. I mean of course a lot of people have clinics वगैरह create करते हैं and they have a lot of other resources
Yeah.
to make that much amount of money but if you talk about just the conventional traditional route कि आपने एमबीबीएस करा आपने एमडी करा आप हॉस्पिटल में काम कर रहे हो तो इसके बाद अब कैसे आपको आरओआई मिलता है मैं बहुत अम्यूज्ड हूँ इस बात से.
I don't think you get that ROI. So many
तो
people that
लोग
I
क्यों
know
करते
that
हैं.
can afford it, honestly, I feel like either they have a hospital. A lot of my friends' parents, they have hospitals. So for them, that money, the fees are just an investment. So it doesn't mean that much to them, all of those heavy, heavy numbers. But I cannot imagine for the life of me, like, someone who has taken a loan to
Yeah.
pay that private college की salary. Like that stress and like what we just counted. Listen, that is we are not counting कि जो खर्चा होगा उस आदमी का महीने का. Minus that, and then you'll get married, maybe you'll have kids. Like what about then? So and then interest. Like wow, it just sounds horrible.
And definitely, and you pointed out a very good thing, that we have made medicine expensive, in terms ki we have created a culture where everybody is more focusing on money, 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 than study, 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 study. Like you have thousands of apps now. I see people कि वो क्या करते हैं, वो मैरो की सब्सक्रिप्शन लेते हैं, वो मैरो से पढ़ाई करते हैं, उसके बाद वो अलग से फार्मा की क्लासेस के पैसे भी देते हैं, वो अलग से एक क्रैश कोर्स करने के भी अलग से पैसे देते हैं, एंड ऑल दीज अराउंड 10,000 20,000. सो यू आर स्पेंडिंग ऑलमोस्ट लाइक every year you're spending extra so much amount of money for just studying. फिर then the iPad and then all the other book, अगर books तुम खरीदते हो they also are expensive. आजकल तो लोग बुक्स नहीं खरीदते हैं, अब सब iPad या टेलीग्राम पे कर लेते हैं, but in general if the
Hmm.
people who consider that, there's so much of money that they invest in just apart from the college into studying, and that's just too much. That is actually too much in that sense.
And realistically thinking, I don't think you get the returns. Like I read a news somewhere that someone in Tamil Nadu joined Zomato. I don't know if you've read that.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. And I was like, that's crazy. It's like that's what it has come to.
But
Because I feel like everyone wants to work in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore.
yeah, of
So
course, of
metro cities
course.
are saturated. You will find like 10 specialists ek raste pe. But then nobody, of course, like I get the reason nobody wants to go to tier three. Tier three फिर भी जा रहे लोग, but like गांव villages, that doesn't mean कि हमारे पास बहुत doctor है. Most of our population is sitting without proper healthcare only. It just everyone in the city is spoiled for choice with 10
Oh,
different specialists.
yes, I saw your story. That was a very brilliant answer. मैं भी realize कर रही हूँ, मैंने भी सोचा था इसके बारे में, but I was going to tell you like generally off topic है कि to make a video about it. But that was a
Yeah.
very brilliant topic that you made about it. कि yes, we do have the doctors, and इतने doctors भर रहे हैं, but सबको वो एक ही जगह पे काम करना है. तो अब जो बाकी जगह पे है, where they actually, it's not like there are not avenues to make money, but nobody wants to go there. I mean, technically speaking, I
Yeah.
know a lot of people जिनको लाइक कनाडा, बिहार या कहीं के भी गांव में दे आर गेटिंग सम 3 lakhs 4 lakhs पर मंथ के हिसाब से, लाइक जस्ट टू बी
And
assistant professor or
yeah,
something. But who wants to take it? Would you go there? I mean,
yeah,
if you're from Mumbai, you won't go to a peripheral city
yeah,
anywhere else,
yeah.
unless you're in dearth of money. So that is a problem, of course, because why would you do that?
Yeah.
But the other question comes is that a lot of the senior doctors are all about कि तुम लाइफ में
Hmm.
लेटर पैसे कमाते हो, एंड चलो उनको छोड़ो. But a lot of my friends, like according to my lawyer friends, engineering friends, कि उनकी भी salaries कुछ आसपास ही आ जाती हैं, and maybe they earn a lot initially, but then they don't earn after that, or they get saturated. But we have a upward curve. But they say that कि compared to a lot of us, that we have more of a stable profession. So what's your opinion about that?
Uh, I would say that, yeah, it's a stable profession, but not in terms of money, not in terms of salaries. And yeah, like they might, engineering and law, okay, people, they might say that, oh, like, yeah, we earn a lot initially and then it just like plateaus. And in medicine, people say, it just like grows exponentially. It grows for some people, it doesn't grow for everyone. you know so that's one thing to be considered. And people think, oh, like doctors are rich. Some doctors are rich, like in Mumbai, the major hospitals are Leelavati, Nanavati. I don't know if you've heard of them. Rich Candy, udhar ki consultants are rich, but that doesn't mean consultants everywhere are rich you know so and they hold those posts forever because, as you know, doctors practice till like their last day. So it's not like posts jobs in these top hospitals free up. So I do not actually think it's a stable profession if you're not worried about money and you want to help people. You just have a direct avenue. It's the easiest way to like make a difference. I agree. So if you really want to make a difference, you want to help people,
बट द
it's one way.
बट आजकल जो बट वही तो प्रॉब्लम है ना, अब जिसके पास पैसा है और उसको हेल्प करना
Mhm.
लोगों को, वो चैरिटी कर लेगा। वो इतना क्यों अपना स्किन खराब करे, अपनी लाइफ खराब करे, 10-15 साल पढ़ते रहे पढ़ते रहे पढ़ते रहे, उसको भी क्या ही मिल रहा है? तो अब क्वेश्चन यही आता है कि ले कौन रहा है और ले क्यों रहा है, और ये मैं बहुत अमीर रहता हूँ। बट ऑब्वियसली जितना मैंने समझा है, मोस्ट पीपल टेक इट फॉर द प्रेस्टिजियस टाइटल एंड समाज में
Oh God,
इज्जत
a
है।
noble profession, and I just
Yeah,
that irritates me so
crazy.
much.
But so
I
that's what
find that good. Yeah, like good, like you brought that up because I have been seeing this one thing and it's, oh my God, it is bothering me so much all over the place. So you have all of these. I have seen multiple examples of this, okay, like reels and posts online. It's these toppers who have said, hello, like I have gotten a rank of like AIR 100 something, AIR 200 something. And I'm not really interested in medicine. So मैं रेडियो डोमेट लेने वाला हूँ. Like I'm not really that passionate. And I'm like, तो भाई क्यों लिया? You are so brilliant that you have gotten such an amazing rank. That means you're clearly an intelligent person. If these people would have actually chosen a rank, chosen a field where they were passionate, they could have gone to such heights, made such a difference. Now, ye AIR 10 whatever will take radio or dermat, because it's chill and they're really not interested in medicine. They don't really like any of the subjects. Is a common thing I hear from so many toppers, which is so sad.
but
And then they'll just live a chill life. But I'm like, then that's the problem in India. You think you like science and you think this noble thing, so you choose to become a doctor. There are many professions that involve science, like research and this and that need intelligent people, you know?
I'll counter you there. AIR 100, 200, whatever, your does not equate to somebody's actual caliber. Because कि तुम्हारा एग्जामिनेशन किस पे हो रहा है? एग्जामिनेशन हो रहा है कि तुम कितना रट्टा मार सकते हो, कितना तुम एक चीज को पूरा याद कर सकते हो, और तुम कितनी चीज
But
कितनी बार पढ़ सकते हो।
it's
तो
not just ratta based anymore. It
चलो
is
ठीक है,
very
एप्लीकेशन
NEET
बेस्ड
has
ऑल्सो,
become conceptual.
बट
Yeah.
कंसेप्चुअल ऑल्सो, तुम कितने कॉन्सेप्ट अंडरस्टैंड कर सकते हो। इट्स नेवर लाइक अ होल थिंग, नो, इट्स नेवर
Yeah.
कि जैसे इफ आई इट्स नेवर अ होल थिंग, इट्स नेवर कि तुम्हारा प्रैक्टिकल स्किल्स कैसी हैं। जैसे अब जो यूएसएमएलई
Yeah.
होता है, यूएसएमएलई इज नॉट जस्ट स्टेप 1 स्टेप 2, राइट? इट्स आल्सो लाइक योर प्रैक्टिकल स्किल्स,
It's a bunch of other things. Yeah, it's your
bunch of other
research, it's
things,
your extracurricular. There's an
research,
interview.
extracurriculars. So it's about how much is your passion. Reading something, of course, it's a very brilliant thing that you've done. You got that rank, but reading, learning, understanding concepts after a while, and just solving exams does not equate to somebody being a great doctor, because it's about a bunch of all things.
Exactly.
It's about
Exactly what I'm saying.
it's about how your clinical skills, how good were you in your practicals, were you able to understand the things, the were you able to do the examinations, were you interested in research, or were you interested in figuring these things out, solving problems, empathy, and all of that. So like I get that when you complain about them taking radiology or derma, but I think कि वही होता है कि जिनको लेना होता है, वो वही होता है जिनको सिर्फ एग्जाम क्रैक करने का इंटरेस्ट है। उनको मेडिसिन मेडिसिन में हार्डकोर इतना
Yeah,
में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है। बिकॉज आई ऑल्सो सीन लॉट ऑफ पीपल, जैसे बिकॉज टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग योर एमडी मेडिसिन गोज इन दिल्ली, आई थिंक इज ए ऑल इंडिया रैंक 3 or all India rank 7 or something like that, where who takes MD medicine, like MD medicine also goes at a very very high rank.
goes at the top. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, if you ask
But
me
that's what
also,
I'm saying now, that why are these people becoming doctors? Yeah, they may not exactly, they're not passionate, so they have the caliber to do well. They're smart people, they have the capacity for hard work. So why not choose a field you're actually passionate about? I just feel like parents and just people themselves are just pushed into medicine
what if they are
without having
passionate
the
about
passion for it.
what if they are passionate about radiology or derma?
But they're not. No, they are just, if they are, that's 100% there. But I'm specifically talking about the people की मुझे ये फील्ड में तो ओवरऑल एज अ डॉक्टर इतना कुछ इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, ये दो में चिल लाइफ मिलती है और दिन में कम घंटे सो कॉल्ड कंपेयर टू अदर ब्रांचेस काम करना पड़ता है, इसलिए आई एम टेकिंग दिस. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द स्पेसिफिक सेट ऑफ पीपल हु डोंट लाइक एनी सब्जेक्ट्स एंड आर जस्ट लाइक बस लाइफ चलाने के लिए, और अभी रैंक आ गया है तो अभी ले रहे, इफ यू
But
नो
I
व्हाट आई
think,
मीन.
but definitely, but I think you can't discount the amount of people who just in medicine because one, their parents force them to. टू दे वर गुड एट स्टडीज, थ्री उन्होंने नीट यूजी क्रैक कर लिया। एंड ऑफ कोर्स अगर तुम 3 से 4 साल एक कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट में एक एग्जाम के लिए मेहनत करोगे या 2-3 ड्रॉप ले लोगे या जो भी करोगे, कहीं ना कहीं तो पहुंच ही जाओगे, कोई ना कोई कॉलेज में तो घुस ही जाओगे। एंड उसके बाद ऑफ कोर्स definitely, I mean, I get your point कि if you have the caliber, if you have the genius, why not take it? But yeah, maybe, but do you blame them for it, or do you blame the system for it, is what I don't know.
I blame the system. I blame the system. Our system has no proper career counseling. In India, there are such less opportunities for any other science field that is not medicine or engineering. But science is so much more. I know people abroad who are like passionately studying like neuroscience, like just neuroscience research. Within the like there's research in AIDS, like there is biotechnology, there is so much more to science and STEM than just medicine and engineering. So I feel like it's a systemic problem. It's an India problem, not a personal problem.
But the
System,
but the what do you say that? But the this thing, the radio and the derma are also your supply demand issue. No, like the demand is there, that's why the supply is there. So that is why the prices go higher, or that is why the ranks
yeah,
require higher.
yeah,
So it's also like a
yeah.
price demand issue.
Now, though, I feel like things are slowly changing. Like my friend, who's a radiologist and his family owns a radio diagnostics hospital, he himself admitted that he's not saying that AI will wipe out radiologists'
Yeah,
ka job.
yes, yeah, yeah, yes.
But if a hospital needs five radiologists, and after AI, it will need maybe two or three. So वो दो लोग का job तो जाएगा. So I feel
Love
like
it.
I would think twice before taking radiology right now. And as far dermat is concerned, like yeah, if I'm passionate about it, and it's a quite an interesting subject actually, but you also have to be prepared for like the commercialization that has happened. Everything is about brands and marketing and all of that. Of course, like my dermat, like he literally seems like he's like not phased by anything. Like he's literally one of those like old time domats, like doctors, like without any marketing, this and that. But that's like one of the rare ones left. Most of them are just like you have to have an Instagram page, you have to do this, you have to be into beauty and all of that. So if you're ready for that cutthroat, competition, then take domat,
Plus, they
I'd
have
say.
crazy competition, man. You have random wellness influencers, dumb ads today. You have random Instagram influencers, well, dumb ads today. You have people
Yeah.
who are giving testimony कि ओ मैंने ये मेडिसिन ट्राई करा और आज मैं बिल्कुल क्योर हो गई या क्योर हो गया. So though you have those dumb
Yeah.
ads, and you also have MBBS students who don't want to take now post grad, but now they found this avenue कि ठीक है भैया मैं Instagram पे dumb ad तो बन सकता हूँ. So then they become a
Yeah.
dumb ad on Instagram. So you have like a lot of competition from a lot of people. And
Competition. Yeah. One of
and
my dermat residents had joked, she's like, dude, parlor wali auntie is my competition. And I
yeah,
was
for
like,
sure.
yeah.
Wow. I mean, like guilty, but I myself have taken advice, not paid advice, but like just free advice from a lot of random influencers, sole reason because it worked on them. So I'm just very curious. Okay, so what did you do for it? So I'll also do that. So now
Yeah.
that happens, and अब यही कोई start मोनेट चार्ज करने लग जाए इस चीज के लिए, and कि जितना मैंने understand करा है कि a lot of people just like take it supplement because वो क्या होता है ना, it's like that. It's like how do I say that? It's like you want
Mob
reassurance.
mentality.
Mob mentality
Reassurance.
well
Yeah.
and reassurance. Oh, I've asked you, I'll
Hmm.
ask one more person, I'll ask 3-4 people. So ऐसे करते करते तुम 10-15 लोगों से पूछ लेते हो, तुम्हारे तो 10,000 रुपए खर्च हो
Hmm.
गए, बट वो उस इंसान को तो उतने पैसे मिल गए ना फिर. So
Yeah.
so that is
And
definitely
that's one of
important.
the reasons why I don't think I could do it because you have a lot of creators who also speak out ki how fake these campaigns are. They are literally paid to say not sponsored. Matlab, that is a mindfuck. Like it is straight up cheating that they promote a product and then they write, oh no, but this is not sponsored. So you think you okay. If it's not sponsored, then they genuinely like it. But then they're paid extra by the brand to write not sponsored. So you have all of these marketing games and all these tactics happening. So I don't think I could ever like
Plus
trust because
like
I think a lot about this.
plus that
Yeah.
sunscreen scam, that did you see that?
Oh God.
And मैंने
We
ये
tested
देखा.
all of these sunscreens and this and that and what rubbish. All of that
Yeah,
was
and it's like
a
we have
scam.
no regulatory authority. मैं तो ये तो देखो, ये तो इंस्टाग्राम के बारे में मैंने पहले ही ये तो पहले भी था कि technically speaking, you say something, यू विल गेट सूड। अब रैंडम पर्सन बोल देगा, उसको कोई कुछ बोल ही नहीं सकता है, वो बोलेगा भाई ये मेरी टेस्टिमनी है, ये मैंने एक्सपीरियंस करा, आप
या
कैसे बोल सकते हो कि ये गलत है मेरे लिए?
आप कैसे बोल सकते,
So
एग्जैक्टली।
this is the thin line where people can easily just cross, and this is the blurred line
या
where people cross, and it's so messed up because
या
जो actual people हैं वो गिविंग रियल इंफॉर्मेशन, वो तो बहुत ही नीचे रह जाते हैं, एंड ये सारे फ्रॉडस्टर्स, स्कैमस्टर्स सारे इतने ऊपर ऊपर हैं, फैंसी हैं नाउ, देर ऑल लुकिंग वेरी गुड, hot girls, hot men giving you advice, and people just like take it like that, like it's gospel.
It is. There needs to be a regulatory body ASAP for this, but the government will do nothing.
Yeah.
So we live on.
The good thing about AI thing is that AI can't be in critical care because AI can't intubate, AI can't put central lines, like AI but शायद कर सकते हैं 10-20 साल में शायद रोबोट्स, बट अभी
20
नहीं
साल
कर
में
सकते
ठीक है
हैं।
ना, 20
Yeah.
साल में।
हाँ, उतना पैसा कमा के फिर
AI
हम
can't
खुद,
suture, AI can't deliver babies, which is why I'm considering surgery and gynac.
AI can't work in वो जो 16 घंटे हीट में, वो जो हीट में तुम्हें काम करना पड़ता है ना हॉस्पिटल्स में, स्पेशली मुंबई पुणे में भाई, ह्यूमिडिटी एंड हीट में करके दिखाओ बिना एसी के लेबर
Yeah,
रूम्स में, तो काम,
so bad. But
तो ये आई कांट डू दैट, उसका रोबोट ही
AI
बन
can't
जाएगा
do
10 घंटे
that
बाद विदाउट एसी, तो
without charging or whatever.
विदाउट चार्जिंग हमें तो कोई पूछेगा भी नहीं ना, यू
Yeah,
डोंट हैव टू चार्ज, यू कैन वर्क 36 hours विदाउट फूड, विदाउट वाटर, विदाउट अ प्लेस टू
without
स्लीप,
having a bath.
विदाउट हैविंग अ बाथ। रोबोट्स नीड फुल ट्रीटमेंट, लाइक उनको उनको चार्ज करना
Yeah.
चाहिए, उनका पूरे पार्ट्स को रिपेयर करेंगे, हमारे पार्ट्स को कौन रिपेयर करता है?
And I want to see all these hospitals जो gloves और syringe के लिए चिंदीगिरी करते हैं. How they gonna spend lakhs and crores on these AI robots and models? But so yeah, we our jobs are kind of safe still,
या
luckily.
जो नए लोग आए हैं मार्केट में जो ये बोल रहे हैं कि अब मेडिसिन बहुत ही बेकार फील्ड है, छोड़ दो इसको, बहुत ही खराब चीज़ है ये, कुछ और करना चाहिए ज़िंदगी में, विच इज़ लाइक इंस्टाग्राम करो, यूट्यूब पे व्लॉग करो, पॉडकास्ट वगैरह बनाओ, या फिर या कुछ और करो। दो द आयरनी आई लव इज कि आई हेट मेडिसिन बट हाई आई एम अ डॉक्टर हु इज लेफ्ट मेडिसिन, सो दिस इज व्हाट आई एम डूइंग नाउ। So the starting, oh, I'm a doctor, I've left medicine. So like life only like continues like that. The
Yeah.
they introduce it, they work only like that. So it's very amusing to me.
I think like this goes back to again systemic problem. We need better opportunities for all fields in India. We need to get rid of this. It's this typical Indian uncle auntie mentality, doctor, noble profession. We need to stop seeing doctors as gods and we need to start seeing them as human beings, and get rid of this whole noble tag because that's when this mara mari and beating up of doctors will also go once you just start seeing them as human beings. So that, and I think with better career counseling and a systemic change and a mentality change that will take years and years, I think we need to, our goal should be people should take what they're passionate about, given that they have the environment for that passion to just grow and, flourish.
Yeah, I think that's a very brilliant point.
But that India is far from that day. But maybe we'll get there. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. But I feel
10 साल लग जाएंगे, but you know.
yeah. हाँ यार, ये तो मतलब the I think the bottom line from whatever I've understood from people, I've understood from knowing people is कि सबको अच्छा काम करना है, सबको लोगों की हेल्प भी करनी है, बट एट द सेम टाइम सबको अपने लिए पैसे भी कमाने हैं, और जब वो पैसे नहीं मिलते हैं उनको उतना कि एक इज्जतदार जिंदगी जीने के लिए, तो उनको बहुत गुस्सा आ रहा था, वो बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाते हैं, दैट इज व्हाई दे हैव ऑल दिस एंग्स्ट अगेंस्ट मेडिसिन, एंड उसके beyond of course when you see the freedom or the mobility that maybe even an engineer is getting, work from home, you can sit in Bali and do a work from home. So when you don't have that kind of a mobility in the world now with Instagram and YouTube, where you just everybody is not doing anything and some apparently doing something, so people are just confused कि अभी हम क्या करें, कि मैंने तो अभी
Yeah.
16 घंटे काम कर करके, 16 घंटे पढ़ाई कर करके एक डिग्री ले ली है, बट जो मुझे सो कॉल्ड रिटर्न्स लग रहे थे कि मेरे को मिलेंगे, अब मुझे रिटर्न्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं, तो अब मैं क्या करूं? सो I guess that's why
But
people
yeah,
are getting
and
lost.
stop going into medicine with the expectation of money.
Yeah.
Number one thing. If you want money, then this is not the profession for you.
अर्ली
Like,
मनी बोलो.
it comes
बहुत लोग बहुत दिमाग
early
खराब
money.
करते. अर्ली मनी बोलो भाई, मेरा बहुत लोग दिमाग खराब
Uh,
करते हैं, बाद में बहुत पैसे मिलते
but
हैं.
hello, early, like after 40 is late, yaar. You're like in medicine, you start earning in your late 30s and 40s, and that's like way late. But yeah, if you are looking to make good money, quick money, this is not the field for you. I really don't get it. Unless you have like a hospital already, you have a setup, then great, then you can carry it forward. But otherwise, I don't see the point.
ओनली फैंस करना
Unless you're
चाहिए
really
सबको.
passionate. Yeah. यूट्यूबर नहीं, अभी तो यूट्यूबर नहीं चलता,
यूट्यूब
इंस्टाग्राम
नहीं
पे
चलता
ब्लॉगर
आजकल.
बन जाओ.
क्रैप, यूट्यूब नहीं चलता आजकल.
No, no, people don't have the attention span anymore for those long, long videos. Otherwise, when I was in school, I used to watch those like 10, 12 minute YouTube videos. But अभी तो 30 second reels में ही हो जाता है, तो 30 क्या 10 second के reel में हो जाता है. They say ना the hook is in the first 3 seconds.
भाई बहुत दिमाग खराब है ये तो.
Yeah.
बट अब इंस्टाग्राम भी कोई कैसे करे. इंस्टाग्राम में भी 20 तो इन्फ्लुएंसर आ गए हैं तुम्हारे. हर चीज के लिए 20 है.
That has also become so saturated. I'm
यार
like,
तुम.
are people not tired of becoming influencers?
गिल्टी.
No, no, no. I feel like that's not your full-time job. I feel like someone like you and I also like post stuff, but we do it as an outlet. That's not like our where we channel everything. Doing it as an outlet, doing it to express your thoughts, your creativity is different. Doing it to like specifically like market products and build a business and all of that, like I don't
पता
know.
नहीं यार, तो
That's
I'm also quite divided about it because there are people who claim that they built a lot about it, they made a lot of money, and I'm just like, oh, do you go hardcore in this or do you go hardcore in your work? Because it's very complicated that ways. Because yes, there's a whole saturation, and yes, as a medical content creator, you get restricted in terms of your genre. You have a particular niche. Obviously, a lot of people do a lot of random things, that is there, that's not
yeah.
those people are there, but otherwise you get very restricted to a particular niche. And when you go beyond that niche also, yes, you can go, but within that niche only, अब उसमें मतलब I think 15-20 हजार लोग ही भर गए. It's almost like अगर हर इंसान ही इन्फ्लुएंसर तो इन्फ्लुएंस हो कौन रहा है. So
Exactly. Exactly. If everybody is an influencer, then who is watching? But there are people watching. Apparently, Instagram is an
so that is
addiction.
definitely a problem. And of course, and then the other demands of it sometimes, that you have to look in a particular way, you have to hook people through either controversy, through either cringe,
Yeah.
or through either something sexual. So that is also a little
अभी तो
problematic.
अभी तो rage bait and publicities become like sometimes नहीं. I know for a fact that people do all of these things on purpose and very, very intentionally. They're saying the wrong thing, they're showing the wrong thing to rage bait because they know that will get views. Good content, thoughtful content might not get views. But if you say something insane that you know will piss everyone off, you give some really shitty view. In fact, if you post something really misogynistic, rage bait, it'll get the views.
पर मैं
So
तो ये सोचता हूँ कि भाई तुम्हारे घर में माँ बाप नहीं है क्या. मेरे तो पेरेंट्स, मेरे नेबर्स, अंकल आंटी, सब मेरे को इतना मतलब एज एन वो मुझे फुल ऐसे कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट के सिद्धांत ऐसे बिहेव करना चाहिए. बिकॉज टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग दैट इज ट्रू, राइट. आई एम फ्रॉम दिल्ली, एंड Instagram is fine, everything is good for the side thing. Even if I'm doing it full time, I still have a society that I have to show my face to. And
yeah, you have to be
what
answerable too.
answerable too. I mean, and now somebody might say कि अब पैसा है तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है, but otherwise also कि there is a certain way of
नहीं,
code of.
फर्क पड़ता है. फर्क पड़ता है, पैसा है तो फिर भी the internet is forever. That is
Yeah,
one thing.
exactly.
Once you post something, even if you delete it in 1 second, someone has taken a screenshot. Whatever you're doing on the internet will stay forever. One day, if you have children and they're gonna see all of that, or even if you don't have children, you're like up for some job because these things change, like whatever the next new trend is, and then you're left with all of these shitty actions on the internet because they do stay forever. What are you gonna do then? You
मैंने भी
know?
बहुत बार सोचा है
So,
कि अगर मेरे को कैसे कंट्रोवर्सी करनी है और व्यूज चाहिए, तो क्या मैं थोड़ा ऐसे बिहेव करूँ, वैसे बिहेव करूँ, थोड़ा टू साउंड क्रास, थोड़ा जी हिला दूं, वो हिला दूं, बट देन आई एम लाइक ब्लडी, उस मैं 28 का हूँ, ठीक है, मेरे को फ्यूचर में 3-4 साल में या कितने टाइम में शादी भी करनी है भाई, एंड लाइक लाइक मेरे को लड़की नहीं मिलेगी, ऐसी हरकतें वो देखेंगे इंस्टाग्राम पे, तुम ये सब करते हो, तो बिकॉज पीपल डू सी
They
दैट।
won't care about your sponsorships. I mean, they might, but a decent girl, a decent human will care about what kind of a person you are and what you're projecting on the internet for sure.
या फॉर
And I don't think
श्योर।
I could live with myself, yeah. Like, I don't know, again, comes from a place of privilege. If I'm someone who doesn't have money and then this is the way to get money, sure, I can't really blame them. But
फॉर
I
श्योर।
really can't imagine, like, just, like misleading people so that I get money. That's actually cheating. That's all these like brand promotions and products. It's in a way a form of cheating. You're cheating people, you're misleading them, you know, potentially harming them. So I don't think I could do that.
But the problem with the world I feel is that I have also seen like a lot of like, चलो मैं men की बात कर लेता हूँ, there are like a lot of misogynist content creators who were initially misogynist or somewhere misogynist, but because they gathered that following of boys, the following of men, or just the following in general, that now there are 100K, 200K, 300K, that nope, chalo calling out and everything is fine, but because they have got that so-called fame, like पैसे मिल रहे हैं, मीटिंग गर्ल्स एंड जिंदगी जी रहे हैं, सो यू आर आल्सो क्वेश्चनिंग कि भाई कि कि दुनिया में इट्स वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड टू
But
नेविगेट
could
थ्रू
you
दिस
live
वर्ल्ड।
like, I mean, yeah, I feel like that might creep into your mind, but like, will you be okay with spewing misogynistic shit on the internet just because you're getting everything? No. Are you gonna be able to sleep at night? No. Like, क्या करोगे यार after a point? पैसे 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 आते हैं. What do you do with all that money? Like, I see all these PR products like these influencers get on the trips they go on. Like, for the first few months, I'm sure it must be exciting. After that, it just becomes like another thing you just get used to. And then at that point, it's too late. You've already sold yourself, your soul for the internet. At first, traveling Europe on your own money is exciting, but by like your fifth Europe trip, is it still that exciting? You have a like boxes of PR every day. I don't know. Doesn't it get like soul sucking? I don't know.
नो नो फॉर श्योर, जैसे अब लाइक द कंट्रोवर्शियल टेक दैट कि because I have had a life where I've been able to travel across Europe, I've been travel across US. Now when I see everybody doing it, no, I don't care anymore. I don't care only that to go to these
Yeah,
places. That कि अब सब जा रहे हैं भाई, पहले चलो अगर तुम एक पहले टू गो इनटू सम प्लेस कुड बी कंसिडर्ड अ स्टेटस सिंबल, अब सब जा rहे हैं, तुम द रैंडम पर्सन यू
it's
नो,
not.
it's
Everyone is
everybody is
going.
doing that.
Yeah,
The so-called
yeah,
club opening that might be in your city, now everybody is going to that club. It's not, there's nothing exclusive, there's nothing left, I would feel, to show off, because सब कुछ ही कर
yeah,
पा रहे हो, सब लोग कर पा रहे हो, सब everybody has
yeah.
accessibility now. So if
Yeah,
anybody is
and
doing it,
everybody believes in spending now. Even if they don't have the kind of money, they'll be like,
yeah, for
"Bhad mein jai
sure.
savings, bhad mein jai savings. I'm traveling. I'm going to that club because I want to show that off, or like I want to do that." Especially after COVID, people are like, "I'm going to spend. I'm going to like live my life," which in a way is good if it's done in the right way of like I want to live my life. But if it's done in that whole like PR influencer way, like I don't know. But I think see, you and I, we come from that similar background where we've grown up in money. We've always had like that privilege, the resources from our parents. So we have a very, so then I would say then all the more reason for us to not take the bait for all of that.
No, for sure. No, that's it. Now
Yeah.
when I see this, I've seen this difference of perspective that I've noticed in myself in terms of if I navigate through dating, is that earlier I used to care about ki bhai, oh, I'm trying to show off ki, oh, I traveled to this country, I went to this club, I have this car. Now I don't care only. Now I'm like, if somebody even judges me for these things, I feel so secure in myself that I've already done those things. I'm so not interested in trying to show off that whatever I have, because if in the end, if you do, पैसा होके भी क्या फायदा, that if the qualities or the value of the person is not aligning with you, so फिर क्या फायदा है,
Yeah.
तुम अगर
And I have seen it firsthand in like my community and in general ki yes, money does solve a lot of problems like poverty, that is a very different discussion, but being rich but like not having a good life, not having people, not having love in your life, money is not gonna like match up for that.
no,
And
definitely I feel that definitely.
people have just like really empty lives, and I don't know, I just see all of these influencers' lives, and like I for one, I don't know, people feel really jealous, like, and I just don't. I don't know. I guess I'm evolving or something, but I'm like anyway, मेरा like whenever people think यार मुझे भी करना चाहिए था, don't get me wrong, मुझे भी thoughts आते हैं, but then I'm like wait, why did I become a doctor? To help people. Influencer बन के am I helping people? No, in fact I'm doing the opposite. So let me just continue on my path, you know.
But question comes that if कौन सी famous influencer है किसका नाम लूँ who's a famous influencer in Bombay.
Rebel kid.
Okay, चलो उसका लेते हैं. So, but
Okay.
question comes that if itna kuch karke, Rebel Kid has her own show, she's traveling to countries, she's making money, she's in maybe a Porsche or Lamborghini, and you're just going in an auto to the hospital, seeing the same 10 people, the 15, 20 new patients with 1 lakh of an income. How do you feel about that?
I mean, let's if we're talking about the rebel
Good
kid,
question. Mm.
if we're talking about the rebel kid, I
No,
mean,
just
honestly, like just taking her as like an example, like honestly, again, comes from a very specific place of privilege, and I'm a very specific person with my thoughts. But I don't envy her life, yeah. Like, I don't want to get trolled on the internet constantly, and okay, that is one thing. Her life like seems very like constantly there is some online drama going on. Like I love it when like I have my friends around and you can feel the love and all of that, like long-term friendships, like long-term just relationships with people, community. That's what gives me fulfillment, and I don't see any of that in her life, and everything is so fake. Just like even when I have recorded videos for things, like I know how fake recording videos are also. Like smiling 1 second and the next second you're back to your breakdown or whatever. So and constantly having to living that fake life, ना भाई, like जा तुम like यूरोप मैं 1-2 बार गई हूँ, वो अगर 5 बार and ठीक है, I have gone on my mom and dad's money, so what? I don't get this thing of like माँ बाप के पैसे पे नहीं जाने. Of course don't like spend your parents money, but like if your parents don't mind taking you, then why not? I have come from that side कि ठीक है, of course I'm not going to live on my parents money forever, but if I want to take a trip with them and if they want to pay, so what? If that means charging my patients less, I'll take it. you know her life doesn't seem all that fulfilling to me, and I'm all about like my number one thing is यार मुझे satisfaction मिलेगा क्या, मुझे fulfillment मिलेगी क्या, you know so
इसके बारे में मैं भी
yeah.
बहुत सोचता हूँ एंड मैं भी बहुत डिवाइडेड रहता हूँ इस चीज़ के ऊपर कि sometimes you feel like how am I going to be if I'm leading that life, and sometimes you feel like I have no idea. So this is something that I'm
I
also
don't
proud.
think I have once also wanted to have rebel kids life,
Not
like
her
ever.
rebel kid's life. I'm not giving you an general example.
Yeah. I got what you meant, but yeah, none of these big creators have really like ever envied their life, because everyone knows their social media is fake, and I don't think I could live like that. It sounds very like haunting
Yeah,
in a way.
no, for
Yeah.
sure. पता नहीं. It's a complicated debate which I am very curious to figure out because I myself don't know what is good or bad in life in that sense. That do
Yeah.
you do you want that life of all that wealth, or do you want to be content with what you have? It's like I think my main problem is that I don't mind having wealth, but I think the source I would still prefer to have it the straight way. Like I think that's my problem in general with those any kind of systems is that um, I do not want to um, earn in a negative or any kind of way because or like
I'm misleading people.
misleading people because yeah, that's just something I just can't do. So that's something that
Yeah.
I'm very
I don't want to be the reason like I'm earning money, but like other people are suffering, like all of that. And I know like I come from a capitalist business family, so in a way, my family contributes to that, but I can't do anything about it. I can just choose how I behave. So,
Plus, also, I think the reason why, and this is the question that I ask myself all the time. A lot of people
mm,
ask me this question
mm,
that, oh, Siddhant, now you're working on Instagram also, you got these little bit of following, and why don't you just do it full time? Why don't you leave medicine? And मैंने वैसे बहुत बार सोचा है because a lot of people in my place of privilege do leave
mm,
it. When your parents are doctors, तुम्हें ज़रूरत नहीं है कुछ उस तरीके से काम करने की, तुम क्यों काम करो, छोड़ दो.
mm,
जो भी इसको है इसी के wealth को या तो बढ़ाओ, try to
mm,
do some MBA, some crap. But one, I think it gives some purpose to my life. Like bachpan se, I feel like I wanted to do something to bring some change to society. Even if I'm doing it in two people, three people, I'm bringing some change to society. Maybe
change. Yeah,
to the thrill, I guess. There is an adventure. There's definitely a thrill in medicine in terms that
yeah,
when you're working in the ICU, you're managing a ventilator, you're managing somebody's life, and there are like I'm talking about 60, 70-year old lawyers, IAS, anybody. And these are the people that the responsibility and that you have कि भाई तुम रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो किसी और की जिंदगी बचाने के लिए. One wrong
yeah.
mistake, one anything, one bad decision, and that person is completely gone. And that person, not just like any person, right? That person also done like something significant in their life. So we're talking about
They have a
handling
whole life, they have a family. So,
life,
yeah,
family. So you are not only your one decision or your one action is not only influencing that one person, but influencing a lot of families and a lot of people connected to that
yeah,
person. So,
yeah.
and of course, the thrill of working in the ICU, the working in a hospital, that you are seeing something, there is something exciting. So, I think all these factors also like bring me back to that whole thing that,
Working so closely with human life,
yeah,
it feels like this like privilege and this like magical thing. Like human life is such a vulnerable thing. Like, like we are so close to life and death as doctors. And yeah, I don't think I'd like quit that. If you've even like if you've seen a delivery and if you've seen that child being born and the first like cry and all of that, those moments are like nothing compares, you know?
also, I think a lot of people sometimes message me on Instagram when they're asking me for help. And I'm not talking
Mm-hmm.
about random fake people. I'm talking about genuine people that I would know about,
Mm-hmm.
where little kids or like students where their parents are like really sick or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, I mean, that kind of like breaks your heart. That really breaks your heart. And that time you feel like I'm so, that at least I have, if you have a privilege, like if I have a privilege in terms of doctor parents and everything, if I can impact them, help them, get some resources, I, yeah. So these are the
Yeah,
small things that really like make you feel like
yeah.
keep going at it. Like, I mean, of course, I would love the
Keep
money and the
going.
fame, but I think I would still like to still continue medicine because I think लाइफ में कुछ पर्पस तो होना चाहिए वरना सभी को क्या बस घूमने आए
Kya
हैं.
point?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know. Like, yeah, like I would rather like be in the hospital than just be constantly on a vacation. For sure. I would like a vacation every once in a while, but constantly, no, yaar. When the vacation
Yeah,
stops feeling like a vacation. And yeah, being in the hospital, like being able to help people, because health is everything. हम जब बीमार पड़ जाते हैं तो समझ जाता है कि कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते. हेल्थ गई ना तो then nothing matters. You have like the best bed, then even if your joints are aching, you can't sleep even if you have the best mattress in the world. Like all of that. Health is everything. And the fact that we get to help people in that, area, it means a lot.
yeah, and I mean it's subjective, of course, but I have not like I have tried living that party life where you're just like doing something every day. But I don't know, I feel like so hollow on the inside. I don't know, maybe it's just the conditioning of the medical system, I can't say. But I feel so hollow on the inside if you continue doing that. That imagine 5 p.m. one party, 7 p.m. another party, 3 p.m. another event. And it's just like to me, it just seems so hollow to me. कि तुम क्या कर रहे हो उसके बाद फिर क्या है इसके बाद क्या है मतलब what is the bigger end goal in life and what is the bigger end point of all these things. So these things really like keep me up at night.
Yeah, for sure.
Paul, so like
Hmm.
what so after all this discussion, after all these things, what advice
Hmm.
would you give to what advice would you give to a first year MBBS student?
Well, I would go a step before that, I would say that in your 11th, 12th, really think what you're passionate about, whether you want to stay in this country or you want to stay somewhere else before you choose medicine. So take this field only if you're passionate about it. And as for someone who's already entered MBBS, I would say make the most of it and in every way possible. Learn to your heart's content. A hospital has hundreds of patients, hundreds of cases. It's just like a live library. So, like make the most of it. Like learn to your heart's content, experience to your heart's content, like go for all the college fairs, go for all the competitions, go for all the conferences, make your 5.5 years, or I don't know, it's 5 years now, like completely worthwhile. Like fill it up with memories and make mistakes. That's fine. I think the more mistakes you make, the more you learn. Make mistakes in friendships, make mistakes in relationships, make mistakes in exams. You learn from every single mistake. So, yeah, that's the advice I would give. And at the end, just be a good doctor. I'm not talking about the most brilliant doctor. I'm not talking about just be a good, compassionate doctor. That's important.
That's a brilliant
What
advice.
about you? What about you? What advice would you give?
Mhm. I think 11, definitely the one thing that you said about 11, 12th, that I think the advice I would give would be to just chill, man. Like, MBBS is such a long thing. People pressurize themselves so much about like marks, studies, learning. But I feel like you're
Mm.
still learning. Matlab, I must have forgotten like sodium, potassium, electrolyte balance abhi after doing MD, and I still have to revise myself the same thing again and again. So you are learning from the first day of college till the end of your life. So
Yeah,
chill out. Don't be too stressed about it. Don't feel so bogged down by it because तुम्हारे
it's
पास
not the
बहुत
end of
time
the world.
it's not the end of the world. तुम्हारे पास बहुत time है ये सब सीखने का. But of course, I understand that a lot of people bully you, a lot of people rag you, and a lot of people trouble कि भाई मेरे इतने marks आ गए वगैरह आ गए. Don't care. Build on your personality. Build
Okay.
on having your interest because
Yeah.
nowadays nobody sees just a smart doctor. People want a smart plus a doctor who has a lot of other personalities, a doctor
Yeah.
who can work on a lot of other things, avenues. I think more than just being a bookish smart, it is very important to be worldly
Yeah.
wise. So these things are very important. And उसके beyond, and यार भाई of course भाई technically speaking we make it like कि medical school है, तुम एक machine के अंदर हो, but you're also living in college, so you have to have your college life भाई, party करो,
College
trips
life.
पे जाओ, दुनिया भर के मजे
मजे
करो.
करो.
Because if not then ये सब बहुत सुन लिया कि एमबीबीएस के बाद करेंगे, घंटा कुछ कर पाता तो एमबीबीएस के बाद, तो वो
नहीं
तो
कर
कभी नहीं होगा.
पाओगे. Do it in MBBS. Yeah. And dude, your patients are not gonna care कि तुम्हें थर्ड ईयर के फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में कितने मार्क्स मिले, सेकेंड ईयर में
Yeah,
कितने, फाइनल ईयर के फाइनल्स में कितने मार्क्स मिले. Nobody cares. Patients care if they can trust you. If you can make them feel safe, if you can explain them things in a way that they feel like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. Patients care about all of that,
for sure. And you learn,
So be
and the
that kind
learn,
of a doctor
yeah, and the learning that you do it for like forever. So
for life. Yeah.
So now, considering you're a female doctor, and उसमें भी बहुत मुझे गाली पड़ाती है फीमेल डॉक्टर की, बोला बट अब जेंडर तो बताना पड़ेगा ना. तो but considering you're a female doctor, what do you think about patriarchy in medicine? Do you think patriarchy in medicine exists? Because considering कि भाई medicine is a special, sorry, medicine is a क्या बोलता, medicine is a subject that has so many females. Like you have female doctors, female students, nurses, female technicians. There's females. Compared to a lot of other professions, the gender ratio here has a lot of other women. The gender ratio
Hmm.
here has more women compared to a lot of other professions. So, do you think patriarchy exists in medical colleges, in medicine in general, or do you think it's not there?
Uh, Firstly, like I think it's impossible. Patriarchy is so deeply rooted in our lives, regardless of which profession, which field. Patriarchy exists everywhere. Yes, medicine is a female-dominated profession, like you said. Nurses, majority of MBBS batches are generally like females, all of that. Think patriarchy exists everywhere. It's so deeply rooted in our lives as human beings. It's impossible not to exist, even in a female-dominated place like, a medical field. Like, because, yeah, like you said, nurses, majority of MBBS batches are just like female-dominated. But even then, even if 80 out of 100 or 80 out of 150 are females, there is always that extra pressure on girls. There is always that misogyny that exists. Like there was misogyny in my medical college also. And as far as the hospital goes, I was glad to be in a hospital where it's like there were so many like boss ladies, and I loved that. Like so many of our surgery like unit heads were all females, and I loved that. But in general, वो छोटा सा at the back of your head तो आ जाता है कि oh, you want to take surgery, but you're a girl. Like you want to take this field, but you're a girl. Like ये तो आ ही जाता है. Even the most progressive person in any field will say this. In the most progressive person in medicine, like good professors, I know they're, and they may not even be coming from a place of malice. They're coming from a place of concern ki, but beta, you're a girl, so you have to think about shadi and bachche and all. So at the end of the day, female doctors have their whole profession to balance with all of these expectations and whether they actually want to have kids or not. And guys don't get asked that. You never hear a guy being, spoken to like, "Arey beta, you want to be a surgeon, but you're a guy. What about shadi? What about bachche?" But it's 50-50, yeah. Boy is getting married, girl is getting married, girl is becoming mother, boy is becoming father. Yes, pregnancy is one thing, but in this day and age, everything is expected or should be 50-50. So why is that like connotation only given to girls? Why is that, oh, are you sure you want to take this field? Or why don't you take this field because it's better for girls? You know?
Mm,
I
yes.
have heard I have heard these things from people who care about me, yeah, from my own family members that, yeah, like beta, why don't you take dermat? It'll just be so much better for you. Why don't you take ophthal? It's good for girls, I've heard, you know? So it happens. It's just impossible for us to get rid of this. Hopefully one day as this 50-50 partnership between, husband and wife, mother and father becomes better, we won't hear such things. But as of today, we do.
So when I started PG, I took medicine, matlab respiratory medicine, and my parents only forced me to kind of take respiratory medicine. I wanted to first take surgery, but take surgery was very long. That was their argument.
Hmm.
But seeing the amount of girls in surgery, I was super impressed. I was telling my mother, ये क्या फंस गया हूँ मैं मेडिसिन के अंदर, ये सारी लड़कियां तो सर्जरी में चली गई हैं, अभी मैं कैसे क्या करूँ? So it was like medicine had like all the boys, medicine, peds, and all girls are there in surgery. I'm like, yeah, even in ortho, so I was very
Yes.
impressed. So I was
Yeah.
like, guys, सब
My
लड़कियां
college had
surgery कर
like
रही है.
3-4 female ortho residents, and like the tide is shifting now, which is great. That
Yeah,
day I was happy to hear a doctor tell me, an orthopedician, that you can do orthopedics. And I'm like, yeah, why not? I mean, I don't want to do it, but why not?
yeah, super
So the
impressive.
tide is turning. But yeah, I think in terms of patriarchy, the expectations, the burden is always just different towards women. We're expected to manage things better. We make a mistake. If we make a mistake, ये तो आ ही जाता है कि oh, she's hormonal, she's hysterical, she gets angry, she's bossy. You don't hear these terms being used for men. You don't hear the word hormonal, must be PMSing, all of this. And this is not just medicine, I feel like, but of course, hospitals where the things are more hectic, more stressful, these things get amplified. These
But
terms are not used when boys, act out or make mistakes, but they're used when girls make mistakes, or girls are being so-called difficult when they're just, they're managing things well and they're being strict.
But because women have so much to prove in a medical setting that, oh, I'm a good doctor, I'm smart, I'm educated,
Yeah.
and nobody should call me nurse, nurse, nurse. So they
Oh yeah, the first thing, sorry, I forgot to say it. A man walks into with a white coat, he's automatically a doctor. A woman, she could be wearing a badge with her name that says doctor. She will still be called a nurse, or like she'll be addressed as sister. And this is no offense to nurses. They do God's work. But it's just that you look at women, you think nurse. It's why is that? You know?
if
So
any consolation, somebody once called me a brother. So, ठीक है, took one for the team. But yes, what I was saying was that the drop, like the only effect of all this pressure on women is that because they have to prove so much, they end up working so hard, they end up working so diligently, they end up do overcompensating at work.
yeah.
So the good thing about that is कि if you have a resident who's a girl, तुम्हारा काम कम हो जाता है, वो सारा काम अपने आप सारी
Haha, very
रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले लेती है.
funny. Very funny.
So, because we had that in
But
our postgrad, that the girls were like super responsible, like super, like everything they would organize, everything they would do, they were super diligent. वो सुन भी लेते थे. And all the boys, हम लोग सब भाग रहे हैं, हम काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, काम चोरी कर रहे हैं, and It was like super impressive. Like respect to them.
Girls just
My
always
co
have more to prove.
Respect to my
So,
female co-residents. Like really.
yeah.
But really, thank you, Tejaswini. You were really insightful, and I'm very glad that I got to know you through Instagram because I realized we have so many thoughts that are very in common and very in sync,
Yeah.
and I think it's very important. And the most important is that how like you have very new insights about things which I'm very impressed about. And thank you for teaching me some things, and really grateful for you to like come and speak about these things very openly. So that's really impressive.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I love talking. So anytime I get to yap nonstop and talk, I'm like in 100%. And yeah, so glad like all this negativity we spoke about on Instagram. It's also a place where you make new friends, you know. Mumbai doctor, Delhi doctor, where else would we have met? Maybe at some conference 10 years later. But you know, we're friends and it's nice to like have these things, have these opportunities through Instagram. So it was
Definitely.
so much fun. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope people
definitely
learn
so
something
fun.
from all our yapping.
Yeah, I hope so
And
as
yeah,
well. All right, cool. Thank you so much.
all right.
And take
Yes,
care.
thank you.
Bye.